Welcome back to Moon Harbor Heroes. Today's issue is Cataclysm Crew, issue 24, Intervention. On the cover, Veronica, Calvin, and several other college-aged people sit, watching as Lucy walks in the room. The title is splashed across a big, colorful banner, clearly made by Veronica, hanging above the group. Sitting with the group, grinning, is Al, eating popcorn. We turn the page, and our story begins.
Let's start with popping open those good old playbooks, and we're going to go to the Janice move. So when time passes, roll plus your mundane to see how you're managing your obligations.
That's a very chill 4.
On a miss, you haven't given your normal life anywhere near the attention it deserves. The GM chooses 2 obligations that are going to bite you in the butt. We'll get there. But the first thing that happens is you come home. It's probably the next day after the mall events. Lucy, you just came home, and you come home to find Veronica, Calvin, and 2 of your other friends sitting on the couch.
Shit.
And the door's open, everyone's really quiet, and they all turn and look at you.
She's like full deer in the headlights.
Calvin gets up and he's like, "Hey, Lucy, do you want to take a seat?" And he gestures towards the open armchair that's like sitting across from everyone.
Okay. And then she closes the door, walks over, and sits down.
And Veronica immediately is like, "Are you on drugs?"
What? No!
Calvin turns to Veronica and is like, "Veronica, we were going to ease into that." And he turns and looks at you and he's like, "Look, Lucy, you've just been acting really weird recently. And I mean, I saw you do kind of crazy stuff. And I mean, the only logical explanation I could come up with is that, you know,
Is drugs? Seriously?
I mean, and Veronica immediately is like, "You wouldn't even come home with me at the mall. You stayed where all that trouble was. And I don't know, maybe it was a drug deal gone wrong or something. And your friend, like, pulled me through a portal and brought me to the roof." And
It sounds to me like you're the one who is on drugs.
she then turns and she looks at your other friends and she's like, "That's called transference. She's trying to put the blame off on me."
You're not a psychology major. Chill.
She looks at you and she says, "We just want what's best for you. Look, we got these pamphlets." And she pulls out a bunch of pamphlets for like rehab centers.
Oh my god.
And Calvin's like, "If it's not drugs, just tell me what's going on. Tell us what's going on. We care about you."
I think she looks at Calvin and she says, "Remember the bike?
He nods.
Please just trust me, please. I will tell you what's going on, but not here and not now."
Veronica immediately is like, "That's not a good enough answer."
She's gonna turn to Veronica. Was I talking to you?
Veronica's eyes fill up with tears, and she walks to her room and slams the door. One of the 2 friends goes and immediately like opens the door and goes into the room. The other friend just kind of looks between the 2 of you and is like, "I should go," and then like leaves. And it's just you and Calvin. And Calvin looks at you and is like, "So, what? What can't you tell me?"
Come with me. And she's gonna gesture for Calvin to come into her room because this is a conversation that needs to happen in private.
He nods and follows you.
She's gonna close the door. She's just gonna pace back and forth in her room for a few minutes while she tries to like figure out what she's gonna say. At a certain point, she's gonna like just stop and like sit in her desk chair and be like, "So you remember that time with the cyclist and the truck, yeah?"
He nods.
It turns out that wasn't nothing.
Then what was it?
I might have like sort of a little, like a smidgen of superpowers.
I think we get 4 panels of like him like with a speech bubble above it, like with like the ellipses in the middle, but like no words. And then we get a panel with a close up on him and he's just laughing. Wait, superpowers? Wait, I thought you were on drugs. And he's like laughing so hard he's crying.
Yeah, okay, yuck it up, yuck it up. Yeah, that's what you get for thinking I was on drugs.
Wait, you weren't doing hardcore drugs? I thought you were like on speed or something.
Okay, you can leave if you're gonna do this, but she's completely joking.
I think he like starts walking towards the door and he's like, "What? You're not gonna make me with your like mind powers?"
I don't have those yet.
He's like, "Can you breathe fire?"
Nope.
So what? You can just like jump really high?
Like, essentially. I never said they were cool powers. They just are.
Do you have really fast reflexes? Do you have like spider sense?
I mean, like, not quite spider sense, but like, yeah,
He
how else do
throws
you think I was able to pull you out of that bike's way?
mid sentence, like while you're talking, he throws a book at you. I assume that you catch it.
100%.
Okay. All right. Well, we should tell Veronica you're not on drugs, and probably tell everyone else that you're not on drugs. And
But
I mean,
I would prefer to keep this thing just between us for now. I don't know what kind of excuse I can come up with other than I don't know what I'm going to tell them, but you're the first person of like this group of friends who knows. You're the first person basically who I've told. So I don't think I can handle everyone knowing all at once, and I also don't think that people should know cuz like danger.
I think that sounds like you're sharing a vulnerability or weakness.
When you share a vulnerability or weakness with someone, tell them a secret about who you really are, which I just did. Give them influence and shift your mundane up and your masks label down, which I just did.
Perfect. He comes up and gives you a hug, and he's like, "Well, thank you for telling me."
You're welcome. I don't want anyone to get hurt, and like I've been through some crazy shit, man, and I don't wish that upon anybody else.
Wait, but like, what shit? And I think we're gonna cut the scene there as you like start to explain some of your exploits. And we're gonna cut over to Al. So, Al, it is the day after the whole Alan is arrested, you stood up for him in Saber headquarters thing. You haven't necessarily been texting Veronica per se, but you did follow her on Instagram and have been like messaging her there, sliding into those DMs.
Hell yeah.
But she hasn't responded all that much. She responded like once or twice, but hasn't like responded frequently. And you get a message out of the blue of her saying, "Are you dealing drugs to my friend?"
Oh. That's. Does Instagram have like picture messages? Like, can I send her a picture of my
Yep.
face?
Yep.
I'm gonna send her a picture of my face and like squinting, like like the meme of the chick with like she's doing the duck lips and she's got a hand out.
Yeah.
That's what I'm doing, but it's like, do I look like I do drugs? Is gonna be the message that goes with that.
She responds and she's like, "I don't know what people who do drugs look like. I'm a good girl. I'm from the good side of the city."
I was gonna read this text and then just be like, and message back, "Well, I don't do drugs, and I can tell you're a good girl because of the way you always flirt with a bad guy like me."
It pops up red and then immediately like she logs off. You can't log off Instagram, but she logs off.
When I see that she's like offline, I'm gonna send just like a couple heart emojis.
Perfect. Is there anything else you want to do tonight? Our next scene's going to start the next day, but is there anything either of you want to do in the meantime?
Is there anything nearby that I can steal?
Sure, I mean, you can steal whatever you want to steal. Go ahead and steal stuff.
Cool.
Set a
Do I have
scene.
to roll to steal?
Nope, just set a scene, tell me where you are, and we'll play the scene out.
Okay, so it's what time would you say?
It's evening. It's probably like 5 p.m., 6 p.m.
Okay, so I'm gonna go to the apartment complex that I live in because I'm a cool, tough guy. I live on my own. I'm gonna walk out and I'm gonna just start kind of looking through cars, seeing if there's any stuff in any of the cars.
Yeah, so you walk outside, and surprisingly for this area, there's like a really, really nice like BMW. Inside, there's like the guy's cell phone is plugged in, and his wallet is sitting next to it. Like it looks like he's not going to be here for long.
How far away do I live from Lucy?
You're probably across town, not across town, but probably like a 25-minute drive, 15-minute metro, 45-minute walk.
Can I take it for a joyride? Like, are the keys in the car?
The keys are not in the car.
Can I roll to teleport in and then hotwire the car.
You can teleport in without a problem. I'm gonna say it's an unleashing your powers.
Okay. Oh, it's your boy. I got a 10.
Great. You hotwire the car. I
Hell
imagine you
yeah.
had a portal open and like open it up inside the car.
I'm going to take it for a joyride over to Lucy's house and pick up Veronica and Lucy and I guess Calvin, but Al doesn't know Calvin's there.
Do you know where Lucy lives?
Yeah. I hope. Maybe. Snapchat location.
Yeah, that makes sense.
She
Veronica
does
would
not have her location on. Veronica would, though.
Veronica would.
That works.
It probably won't get you to the exact apartment, but it'll get you close.
That's perfect. This is perfect.
Like, you're in the apartment building, but not the exact apartment number. So now there's like 60 apartments for you to look through.
I'm going to call Lucy.
Lucy, you were in the middle of your like chat with Calvin, and your phone rings.
She's gonna look at it and answer it and just be like, "What do you want?"
Hey, you want to go for a joyride for a little bit? It's been a little stressful since yesterday. We'll take my car. It's my car. Don't worry. It's my car.
I do not trust you. That's not your car.
I'm 17. I have a car. Come on. I'm out front.
How do you know where I live?
Veronica left her location on.
God damn it.
Bring Veronica.
You know, I don't know if that's such a good idea right now.
Come on. We never hang out. Just you and me. It's always the team this, the team that. Come on. It'll be fun. We'll go get ice cream.
1 hour. That's
yes!
I
Hell
was
yeah.
going to roll to provoke, but all right. I think Calvin knocks on Veronica's door and is like, "Hey, we're gonna go get ice cream if you wanna come." Veronica opens the door and her face is just like lined with mascara. And she's like, "Okay, fine. We'll get ice cream."
Guess we're going down.
And the three of you come out of the... Well, so you guys took the elevator down. And Al is standing in the lobby.
Oh, you guys came. Yes. Who are you? Al is pointing at Calvin.
I'm Calvin. I work with Lucy.
Al's gonna just like shove his hand like right at him and just be like, "Nice to meet you. I'm Al."
He shakes it, and his grip is way more, way stronger than you'd think it would be.
Hell yeah. Come on, let's go get ice cream.
As you step outside, Veronica immediately is like, "That's a drug dealer's car. That's not your car. You know that's a drug dealer's car."
My BMW?
Yeah. No one can afford that car. That's a car that a drug dealer drives. You're dealing drugs to my friend, and she's a drug addict, and that's the only answer. It's the only explanation.
Oh, okay. Hey, beautiful. Listen, what drug do you think she's on?
I don't know. Speed. Whatever that is.
Well, I can assure you I am not a drug dealer. Look, check my arms for needle holes. Like, check my wallet, and I'm
Lucy
gonna
is like face bombing like fucking needle holes.
check my wallet. I don't have cash. I've got a debit card. See, drug dealers don't have debit cards. They carry cash.
And Calvin is like, "He's not a drug dealer. Lucy's not on drugs." And Veronica's like, "You're all in on this together, aren't you? All of you are doing drugs together." Calvin just organized the intervention to throw us off the trail. I get it. I understand.
Veronica, do you want me to buy you some ice cream?
She looks at you and she's like, "Fine. But I want a milkshake, not ice cream."
Perfect. My kind of girl. We could share it if you'd like.
She says,
Lucy is like miming vomiting in the background.
Veronica says, "No, we won't. I have a boyfriend."
Sometimes.
Al's gonna turn around and like slide across the hood of the BMW, and while he slides, he's just gonna say, "We'll see."
And we cut over to the ice cream store. Are we going to the mall? Are we going to Cold War? Or are we going to a different ice cream place that's a little bit closer to
We
campus?
are not going to the mall.
Perfect. Yeah, so there's an ice cream place on campus, so pretty close to where you all live. It's called The Scoop. It's also where the school journalism club and the newspaper meet.
During the drive, I would like to open portals in front of the car. Like while driving, I'm just gonna have one hand on the wheel, pull out the hilt for my sword from my back pocket. I guess I've never really explained where I put it, so I'm usually wearing a hoodie, and I've got a belt that goes on under the hoodie, and attached to the belt is like a really small fake holster that the hilt of my sword goes into, because the blade is like a mental projection, you know?
Perfect. I'm going to make you roll to unleash your powers while you're driving to do that.
Okay. That's freak, right?
That's freak, yeah.
But yeah, the goal is to like open portals and drive through them to skip through traffic.
8. That can either be unstable or temporary, or you can mark a condition.
Is there a condition called cocky?
There is not a condition called cocky.
Damn. Well, then I'm gonna say, how is it unstable or temporary? Because none of these things would make like this wouldn't. I'm having a blast, so none of the conditions are really make sense.
Fantastic. You make it all the way there in one piece, and then like you're just portaling through. Veronica's shrieking every single time.
Lucy's gonna be gesturing to Al in the front seat while this is all happening, like look like as if saying to Calvin, "See, portal dude."
Perfect. Calvin is looking at you, and he's like, and like we see the word bubble, but it's like mouth. So are all your friends like this?
Only a few.
We get all the way there in one piece, and then you portal into a parking spot as someone else turns into it and just wrecks the front of this car.
The front of the BMW or of their car?
The front of the BMW.
Does it damage the other car at all?
The other car's dented. Like, they're a much bigger car than you are.
All right, so what we're going to do is I'm just going to... Does the Scoop have windows?
Yeah.
Cool. I'm going to... Ooh, how many people are at the Scoop?
It's pretty busy. It's a weeknight and
Shit.
college campus.
All right, so I'm going to portal near the corner of the building, and I'm going to portal all of us out of the car near the corner of the building so that we're not seen.
Once we land wherever we land, Lucy's gonna turn to Al and be like, "Oh, Al, I'm so sorry about your car. What are you gonna do about that?" And like stare at him.
Well, my dad is a pretty wealthy businessman. I'll just have him buy me a new one.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, no worries.
Calvin looks at you and he's like, "You're not gonna give him your insurance information?"
What's insurance?
Lucy's gonna turn to Calvin and say, "This is what I have to deal with."
Al's gonna grab Veronica like by the hand and like wrap his like hook elbows and then grab her hand, you know, and then just be like, "Come on, beautiful, let's go get you a milkshake."
Her face as you pull her away is literally green. Do you all get ice cream? I think we had like a couple montage shots, like you talking to Calvin and filling Calvin in, Veronica like sipping a milkshake and trying not to throw up as her body adjusts to the fact that she just went through a bunch of portals, then was in a car accident. Al, what are you doing in these like montage scenes?
First, I'm taking offense to the term car accident. Secondly, I think Al is like he's got his elbows on the table and he's got his hands like his knuckles together with his chin on his knuckles, and he's just staring at Veronica and like talking to her, trying to make sure she doesn't throw up. And I think if she does throw up in any of the in any of the panels, Al's gonna portal the throw up outside on the guy's truck.
I like that too much to not have it happen. So I think like at one point we do see her like throwing up into a portal, and we just see like a shout coming from the parking garage across the street. And I think that we're gonna end the scene there. The next thing we see is everyone walking home, like at Veronica and Lucy's apartment. And Calvin is like, "Well, tonight was surely memorable."
Yep.
It was wonderful to meet you, Calvin. Lucy talks all the time about you.
Thank you, Al. I will see you later.
But the night's just getting started.
Veronica looks at all of you and she's like, "I have work in the morning. Good night." And she walks in the elevator, and as it closes, we just hear this scream.
Al's gonna look at Lucy and be like, "So do you think she likes me?"
Can we end the scene there? That's too good a line to not go on with.
I'm down with that. Because the way I was going to end it was her just looking at him and then leaving and walking towards the elevator without another word.
Perfect. So we cut to the next day. Al, I assume that it's a school night, so it's like probably a Wednesday, I'm going to say. We're going to say it's a Wednesday. That feels right. You're in school. Presumably you're not paying attention because you're a delinquent, and I assume you don't pay attention.
Al looks like he's not paying attention, but Al gets straight A's.
That makes sense.
So, like, if the teacher were to, like, call on him, he would answer, but, like, he probably looks like he's texting, blowing some gum, like blowing bubbles with gum, maybe doodling a little, but he's listening. He's totally listening.
As you're like pulling out your phone to like text, you get a notification. I presume that you like subscribe to Veronica's account and like set up like notifications so you get notifications when she does something. Right?
I wouldn't define something. Do you mean like post, or do you mean like moves 20 yards away from her, from where
I
she's
mean
at?
like she posts. Like you get a notification when she like posts on Instagram.
Okay, yeah, I'll say that, but yeah, I was scared. I was gonna say I'm not stalking the poor woman.
No. You get a notification that Veronica is live on Instagram.
Oh, damn. Al's gonna just raise his hand and be like, I'm gonna puke. Like, just doesn't even wait to be called on. Just, I'm gonna puke.
We get a speech bubble of your teacher like yelling at you, like being like, Al, are you? As you run out the door.
Perfect. So Al's gonna sprint into the nearest restroom or locker room and flip on the phone. Or flip on her live.
There's a video. It looks like Veronica's phone has been propped up somewhere. Can't see a lot of the action, but you can hear a lot. And the caption reads, "Someone is holding us hostage here." And then she tagged her place of work at MH Pet Zone, which is the Moon Harbor Pet Zone. Hashtag hostage, hashtag Moon Harbor Pet Zone, hashtag robbery, hashtag save me.
Well, Al is like portaling all the way there.
Perfect. I think we're going to pull back as you like start to portal.
Mhm.
And we're going to cut to Lucy. Lucy, you get that same notification that Veronica is live. You are currently not in class. You don't have class this morning.
I guess she'll open the live video.
You see that same, someone's holding us hostage here, hashtag, and she tagged where she works.
How far away is her place of work from where I am now?
You're at your apartment, so it's only like 3 blocks from you.
Yeah, she's gonna get changed and go on down there.
Perfect. So, Al, you probably arrive first.
The love of my life needs me. Of course I do.
And you can portal anywhere where you have eyeline, right?
Correct.
So you can just portal through the phone, or not through the phone, but like use the fact that you have eyeline to just portal into the shop, right?
I could through live, yeah.
Cool.
As long as I can see what I could probably portal somewhere I can't see, but that's how like I end up like cut in two because of a box or something dumb like that. So Al's never tried it.
So, Al, when you arrive, there are animals everywhere. All the animals have been let out of their cages and let out of their pens. And like as you arrive, there's just like 4 or 5 guinea pigs just like running across the floor in your direction. They're not like attacking you, they're just like running in your direction. And you see like dogs bounding all over the place and cats bounding all over the place, chasing the animals that are out. And it's just chaos. And Veronica is like running and trying to catch them. And you hear a woman's voice being like, "Nope, stop, sit down. If you're a hostage, you have to sit down in the corner."
Has this woman seen me yet?
No, she has not seen you. You also have not seen her. There's a crowd of people, but like doesn't look like anyone's like leading the hostages there. Like it doesn't look like there's anyone like one in charge. It's just a group of hostages.
Okay, so Al's gonna climb one of the walls and like climb onto the ceiling and just kind of like so that way he doesn't get seen and try and figure out where the demanding lady's voice is coming from.
Go ahead and roll to assess the situation.
I got an 8.
Great. On a 7 to 9, you can ask one of those questions.
What here is in the greatest danger?
All of the rodents, the like animals that were let out, that were rodents, so the guinea pigs, the hamsters, the mice, the rats, they are all being hunted by the other animals that have been let out, including cats, dogs, snakes, owls.
So I can also ask, what here is useful or valuable to me?
How do you want to interpret that? Is that like useful, valuable to you financially, or like in this specific situation?
Let's say in this situation, just because Al doesn't have time to worry about theft. The love of his life could be at danger, could be in danger.
Yeah, there are a lot of like leashes and collars and like shock collars and that kind of thing that you could probably use to restrain whoever is leading this hostage situation.
Okay. Can I see any of the enclosures, like animal enclosures?
Yeah, you can see a couple of them. You can see pretty much the entire wall where all the rodents were, and like the rodents and the snakes and the like small enclosures. You probably can't see the big wall where the cats and dogs would have been.
Okay, so I imagine this would require a lot of portaling, and I want to do it stealthily so that the hostage criminal, that's a much better word than whatever I just made up. I would like to do it sneakily so that I'm going to throw portals under all the animals into whatever enclosure seems like it would fit for them, but I'm going to do my best to not combine anything dangerous. Like, I don't care if a rat and a guinea pig are together for now, but like, I don't want to put any snakes with rats, While I'm doing this, I'd like to grab a shock collar, like portal under a shock collar and put into my hand.
Excellent. Let's start with the getting the animals in the right pen. Go
Okay.
ahead and roll to unleash your powers.
I got a 10.
Great. You do it. And most of the animals, at least the rodents, snakes, small animals, are now away. There's a really good panel of like a cat pouncing towards a mouse, and the mouse like looking terrified, and then the mouse is gone and the cat just like crashes to the ground. And there's a couple like things like that. We just see like a pulled back over the top shot, over the head shot of like a bunch of like mini portals opening up all over the store. And it's much less chaotic now. There's still a small group of hostages. In that group, you can now see Veronica standing there.
Has she seen me?
I don't think so. She's facing away from you.
Okay. And I still can't see the hostager?
Not that you can tell. You hear someone like yelling and it looks like it's coming from that general vicinity, but like you don't see anyone who looks like they're in charge.
Okay, so I'm going to do the classic Al technique. Open a very small portal in my hand, and then open it below into a doorway, and then look through it with one eye.
So you're trying to get like close to the hostages?
I'm just trying to see the hostages.
Cool. Roll assess the situation again. We got a 10.
How could we best end this quickly? What here is the biggest threat? And what's the best way into this room?
You're already in the room with them. Like, if you're in, it's just a big like department store kind of complex.
Oh, okay.
They're like in the middle of the room, kind of standing like near an aisle. You could get closer to them, so like you could like, if you wanted to portal, you could land like in the aisle with them and probably just blend in with a group of hostages. The best way to end this quickly would be to find the person who is doing the hostaging and, I don't know, take care of them. So you finally get a chance to see the hostager. You only know it's them because they're like yelling at people to like calm down and stop running around. This woman is average. She's average height, average attractiveness, average build. She's Latina. She's got brown eyes, brown hair. She wears like average clothes and just like an average gray. The best way to describe this woman is that she is perfectly average and perfectly forgettable.
Does she seem to have any super abilities?
Yes.
Al is immediately in love.
Cool. You look away from her for a second and immediately forget what she looks like.
Oh. This is going to be really weird for Al. He's going to experience a lot of love very quickly and then forget it and then experience it again and then forget it. I don't actually know what to do.
That's okay, because at this moment, Lucy, you arrive to the Moon Harbor Pet Zone.
Can I like walk in, or is that going to immediately tip off the person?
I mean, that'll probably tip off the person, but from where you are, you can't see a hostage, like, keeper, a captor.
Are there any windows in the front that I can look through?
Yep, it's a whole wall of windows.
I'm going to look through and see if I can see what I can see.
Cool. You assessing the situation?
Sure.
Roll to assess.
If Lucy sees me and can somehow get my attention, Al could portal her in and then just hold on to her real good.
That's a 7.
On a 7 to 9, you can ask 1.
What here can I use to get in unnoticed?
You see Al from where you are, and Al can probably see you from where he is. He could probably just portal you in.
Yeah, I'm going to wave to get his attention and hope he understands what I mean.
Al, do you understand what she means?
Yes, but in the most Al way possible.
Oh no.
Great, do it. Tell me what that looks like.
So Al, being who Al is, he's sticking to the ceiling, so he's got his knees and his hands touching the ceiling, and he's just gonna pull out his sword hilt and cut a portal in between his arms and legs, so like his like main body mass, and the other end of the portal is just going to open beneath Lucy so that Lucy like falls and basically hugs Al. And Al's just gonna be like, "Oh, didn't know we were this far in our relationship."
She hits him.
Define hit.
I'm gonna say
Like,
that
ow.
I'm gonna say that the hit is going to be a I'm gonna have Al roll a defend to see if he can keep both of you from falling.
Oh, why would you do this?
Perfect. The two of you fall from the ceiling and come crashing in the middle of this like big like dog bed display. It's like 15 dog beds piled on top of each other in this giant pyramid, and you just crash in the middle of it.
Are we visible?
Oh yeah. Oh, you are very, very visible.
We fell from the ceiling.
Well, so I mean, like, did we fall like on the side where the criminal can see us, or did we fall like between an aisle so that I have time to like?
At the
masterfully
very
describe
least,
us?
we're audible.
Yeah,
I'm fine with audible.
She came running over, so she
Okay.
sees you like get out of this pile of beds.
So can I have
go
an
ahead.
idea for panel. So the panel would show Al, like as Al, not as Blue Samurai, just looking over to Lucy and saying, "I told you it was a bad idea. You can profess your love for me after the criminal's gone."
And then we get a pullback shot of the two of you laying there, and the criminal is standing there, and we get an editor's note that says what her name is, Jane Doe, aka Plain Jane. And then there's in the editor's note, ... I think, ? And she's standing there and she's like, "What are the two of you doing? Go back to the other hostages."
Sorry, she said she had something really important to tell me. And then Al's gonna like shield her body and just rip her mask off so that she's not like outed as a superhero.
Wait, you're talking about Lucy?
Lucy, yeah. Did I not say Lucy?
Her
Sorry.
mask is sunglasses, by the way.
Well, Al's gonna rip them off. Because why would you wear sunglasses indoors?
As you do that, you hear a voice from over the captor's shoulder, and it's Veronica's voice, and she says, "Al? Lucy?
Oh, hey, Veronica. How are you?
You know, a little bit held hostage."
Us
What about-
too.
Wait, you weren't here earlier. And the Plain Jane looks and she's like, "Wait, they weren't here earlier?"
No, we were here. We were shopping for a new puppy. And then, like, he's gonna, like, look at Veronica, like, just the most murderous glance.
Roll to provoke.
I got a 10.
Excellent. On a 10 plus, they rise to the bait and do what you want. And she's immediately like, "Oh, right. The puppy that you were getting, that you and Lucy have been talking about getting because you just moved in together. That's so exciting. Congratulations."
Lucy is once again in hell.
Thanks, Veronica. I'm really glad you're being this supportive.
And Veronica looks at the hostage at Plain Jane and is like, "They've been here the whole time. They were shopping earlier. They're friends of mine." And Plain Jane is like, "Well, just go back to the other hostages." As you walk past her, all three of you immediately forget what she looks like.
Do we remember, like, anything about her? Like, do we remember that she exists, or is she completely erased?
You remember that someone is holding a group of people hostage and that you are part of that group of people. You remember all the things that happened. You remember all the things she said. You just can't remember what her voice sounded like or what she looked like. We get a panel of Plain Jane just like pacing back and forth and being like, "Why hasn't the media arrived yet? They're supposed to be here by now. Doesn't the media just arrive super quick in Moon Harbor? God, it's just like, what does a girl have to do to get some attention around here?"
How many people are being held hostage right now?
It's like 12 people.
I think if we're in this clump, Lucy's going to do a quick scan. She's going to turn to Al and be like, "How many people have you portaled at once before?"
I portaled an entire ship one time and it about killed me.
Think you can handle 12?
Yes.
Because I think we got an easy way to get everyone out of here unscathed.
But she's kind of cute.
Can you please focus for once in your life and do the right thing?
Sorry, did you say something?
I'm not kidding here. Like, we have an opportunity to actually do something right for once and save some people. Your powers are the key to getting these folks out of here unhurt. Don't you want to help?
Hey, I helped the kids at the mall the other night.
Congratulations, you have an opportunity to help now. Do it.
I feel really hurt right now and attacked.
I do think that Lucy is provoking.
Yeah. That's a 9.
Excellent. So you can either have him add a team to the pool if he does it, or take a condition if he doesn't.
I think he should mark a condition if he doesn't do it.
Perfect. Al, you gonna do it?
Well, of course I'm going to do it. I'm still a hero. Sometimes.
All right. Go ahead and roll to unleash your powers. See if you can do it.
I got a 10.
Al, describe what those panels look like.
So Al's going to just close his eyes and take out the hilt and just cut at the ground beneath him. And everybody except for Plain Jane, I hope, is going to just fall through and outside. And then the portal's immediately going to close. I imagine that so the way I kind of picture the panel is it's got like one of the really thin, long panels of Al with his eyes closed, and then like a slash through, and then it just shows an empty department store or pet shop, except for presumably Plain Jane's not in the group, but if she is, she is. But I imagined it was nobody's in there except for her. And then it panels to the outside view, and Al is standing up fully in blue samurai gear with everybody around him.
Lucy has her sunglasses back on.
Perfect. You hear a angry yell from inside the store. This is just vicious yell, scream of exasperation. But you all have a second to react before anything happens.
Lucy's gonna yell to civilians, "Go! Get out of here, now!"
They do. They don't need provoking. They're all like, yeah, okay, cool. Everyone except for Veronica. Veronica looks at you and she's like, wait, Lucy?
Told you I wasn't on drugs.
Damn it, V.
And then she looks at Blue Samurai and she's like, wait, Al?
Of course, my beautiful sunflower. How else do you think I'm able to create portals?
She faints.
Can Al, catch her, or is she too far?
Yeah, you can catch her. That's fine.
Yes. Al's gonna, run up and catch her really quick, and then just, tap her on the nose a couple of times, because Al doesn't have time to take care of unconscious people.
She wakes up and immediately slaps you on the face. Because you're close to her.
Incredible.
Why is Al getting abused by all the women in his life?
Because he deserves it right now.
Al has done nothing but nice things to
Steal
you
a
and
car?
Veronica. Al bought Veronica a milkshake.
Veronica immediately is like, I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to slap you. I'm surprised, that's all. And also I have a boyfriend. And then she pushes you off and stands up herself. Dusts herself off.
I was just gonna kind of rub his face and just be like, "Oh, that hurt a little." And then he's gonna look away from her and say, "The boyfriend thing is not a concern of mine. You need to get out of here." And he's looking back towards the pet shop.
As you look towards the pet shop, you hear this or you see Plain Jane come up to the window, and she's has her face not pressed against the glass, but her hands are both pressed against the glass. And she's just shouting, but the words are too small to hear. You just see angry word bubbles.
Could we have a really small panic of Al taking off the cochlear implant and just tapping it to make sure it's working, as a joke?
Yeah.
And then nudging Lucy and smiling at her.
Veronica looks between both of you and then turns and just takes off.
That is not how I expected the past 48 hours to go, but here we are.
And then she runs back and she's like, wait, my phone is inside. I need my phone.
Don't worry about your phone right now. Worry about your life.
No, but if I don't have my phone, then I can't. But I need my phone.
My darling sunflower, I will get your phone. Where is it?
I set it on the counter by the register in the front.
Can Al see the phone?
Al can see the phone.
All right, I was gonna just open a small portal in his hand, and without the sword, and just have the phone fall into his hand, hand it to her, and be like, "Okay, go."
She blushes and she's like, "Okay, thanks." And then she turns and she runs.
Al's gonna turn to Lucy and be like, "Yo, I'm totally gonna date your roommate."
Good luck with that. Okay, so what do we do about whoever the hell is in there?
I don't know, but she's kind of cute.
Lucy stares into the camera like she's on The Office.
Perfect. What are y'all doing?
Did we overhear any of what she said about the media?
Yeah, you both probably heard that.
has anything happened? Like, has there any police showed up? Has there been any media attention? Or has any, like, have we been the only ones to respond?
Nothing has happened so far.
Question. Did the news channel immediately forget about her as soon as she hung up the phone?
I don't know. We weren't there for that conversation.
Al's gonna look to Lucy, Flyby, and just say, I think we need to detain her somehow.
I agree. Was she really only after media attention? Because, like, what's the tangible takeaway from that?
I don't think she took any money.
Does she just, like, want to be on TV? Like, what's her end goal here?
I honestly don't know, actually. Should we just leave?
That feels irresponsible. Can we see what she's doing? Is she just still have, like, her face up against the glass?
She is pacing back and forth inside and, like, knocking things over and trying to, like, just make as big a mess as possible.
Is she locked in there, or is she just staying there of her own volition?
Every time she passes the door, it opens, so she's not locked in there.
That visual is hilarious. Lucy's gonna turn to Al and be like, I think we can fix this without anybody getting hurt. Because it doesn't seem like she wants anything other than attention. So we can give that to her. At least
Al
for a
can-
little while.
Al can definitely give her attention.
I think Lucy's gonna walk back towards the store, and she's gonna walk to those automatic doors and stand in front of them, and they open.
She turns and she looks at you and she's like, You're not news crews. You're not media. You're not anyone. Who are you?
I'm Flyby. Who are you?
I'm Jane. I'm a plain Jane.
It's nice to meet you, Jane. Can I ask you, is there anything I can do for you? Like, what's going on here?
I just need someone to remember. I just need someone to know who I am, and I needed to get on the news so people knew who I was.
Is everything okay? Did something happen to you?
She walks behind a shelf and then she's like, What do I look like? And you don't remember what she looks like.
You are a woman.
Is that it? Is that all you can remember?
I remember you were standing here and talking with me, and we were having a lovely conversation.
Al is gonna pipe up and just be like, I'm pretty sure you're cute.
She walks out and she's like, No one remembers me. No one can remember me. My parents forgot my birthday. And I didn't get any Christmas presents. And no one remembers what I look like or who I am. No one cares about me at all.
How long has this been happening?
A couple months, I don't know.
Do you remember when this started happening, or what could have caused it?
There was an explosion.
Damn it, Alan.
She looks at you and she's like, Who's Alan? My name's not Alan. My name is Jane.
Don't worry about it. He wasn't talking to you. I'm listening. Tell me what happened.
I was in science class and there was an explosion. And then I just didn't exist anymore.
She's gonna turn to Al and be like, call Saber. They can help her.
Ugh. Gross.
Trust me. Please.
Of course I trust you. You're my teammate. But gross. Why Saber?
Because she doesn't need to be fought. She needs help. They're the only ones who we know who could possibly help her.
Al's gonna pull out his phone and just kind of mutter and be like, you need help if you think Saber's the good guys. And then call up. Would Al even have anybody's number from Saber?
You probably got, like, when you were in there, they gave you a couple numbers.
So who would I call?
think
Because
you probably-
obviously I can't call the Ghostbusters.
You probably just call the generic, like, Saber helpline. There's a generic Saber helpline for, like, non-powered people, and then there's a, like, the equivalent of, like, 911 for Saber.
Al's gonna call the helpline and wait for somebody to pick up.
So, Jane, we have some friends who might be able to help you figure out what's going on and help you so that way we can remember you, because I want to remember you.
Cute.
Thank you.
Her eyes, like, well up, and then she, like, runs and hugs you.
I'm returning that hug.
And at that moment, someone picks up the line from Saber, and they're like, Saber, help. What can we do for you?
Hey, it's Blue Samurai. I've got a. Is Plain Jane a teenager or like an adult or like?
Plain Jane is a teenager. She's probably 17, 16.
Hey, uh,
Keep it in your pants.
Al is gonna just be like, "Hey, it's Blue Samurai. There's a teen here. She has no control of her powers, and nobody seems to really remember her. We need Saber's help."
There's a pause, and then the voice is like, all right, we have a pen on your location. You should have agents there in the next 5 minutes.
It's really creepy that you guys are able to just track me.
Yeah, well, sorry about that. We'll see you soon. And then the line hangs up.
Oof, rude.
Let's cut back to the hug. Go ahead and roll to comfort or support.
That is a 13.
Excellent. So on a 10 plus, you can add a team to the pool or clear a condition.
I got no conditions to clear, so I guess team it is.
Cool. We're at 2 team in the pool. Is there anything you want to do before Saber arrives?
I want to make sure she stays calm and comfortable, so that way nothing bad happens.
And in eyesight.
Yes.
Perfect. I think she's calm as long as you're there talking to her. And then Saber arrives, and they walk into the store. I think they approach Al, because Al's what he made the call. And they're like, so what's going on?
This girl in front of us, she has no control over her powers. She, if you're not looking at her, you'll forget her.
The operative is like, who, Flyby? I mean, what's she gonna do, jump really high?
Damn. Al's gonna like smirk a little bit, because I think Al secretly kind of, not like bullies, but definitely like harasses Lucy about some of her abilities.
Lucy is aware of this, which I can explain later.
And then Al's gonna walk up and like put his arm around Plain Jane.
The operative is like, okay, great. Miss, you should come with us.
Lucy's gonna look to Jane and be like, "It's okay. You'll be fine. It's all gonna be okay."
Don't take your eyes off her.
The operative is like, we won't.
No, I'm being serious. Like, if you take your eyes off her, you might forget her.
Great, we won't take our eyes off her.
Al's gonna like put out a pinky and be like, "Pinky promise."
Roll to provoke.
Hell yeah. I better get this one. Out of all these rolls, this is the most important one. I got an 8.
I think he'll do it. He doesn't need to not. So he takes your pinky and like with a like smirk, he's like, okay. And then he like takes her, Plain Jane, by like the shoulder, and he's like, come on, miss, let's get you to Saber. And with that, I think we're gonna cut the scene there. We're gonna cut over to Lucy's apartment.
I should point out that one of the moves that I took after I leveled up last session was one of the beacon drives, and one of them was stop a fight with calm words.
Nice. You did it.
Self high five.
You did it so good. All right, so we're cutting into Lucy's apartment. And we are hanging out. Veronica is pacing back and forth, and Al and Lucy are sitting on the couch. And Veronica, you cut in the middle of Veronica in this like monologue. And she's like, it's like, didn't tell me I've been living with a superhero for 3 months, and you just didn't think you should warn me that, I don't know, maybe a supervillain is going to break into my house and, I don't know, kidnap me or kill me to get revenge on you. We all know what happens to superheroes' partners, and you know.
Which is why I didn't tell you. Which is also what happens with all the superheroes.
Does everyone know? Am I the only one who doesn't know? Am I the idiot here?
No, I mean, you did think I was on drugs, but no, you're not the only one who doesn't know. Most of the world doesn't know.
And then she turns and she points at Al, and she's like, and you hang out with this infant, and you solve crimes with this infant?
Listen, not by choice. We just happen
Hey.
to be on the same team. She's
I'm
100% kidding. She's 100% pulling Al's leg because she knows it's going to push his buttons.
I am 17, damn it. I am. If I'm an infant, then you're barely less than a toddler.
She glares at you and she's like, I'm sorry, I wasn't talking to you. I was talking to my roommate who's a superhero.
I'm a superhero too!
You're a superpowered infant. And then she turns back to Lucy and she's like, so what's gonna happen? What do I do with this information?
First we're gonna take a couple of calming deep breaths and chill because nothing has changed. I have been a superhero for the past few months. You have been fine, other than today, but you turned out fine, so it's fine.
She looks at you and she's like, but what if it hadn't? What if you got hurt? And then her eyes start welling up with tears. And we get a panel of her, like, turning away from you and, like, hastily wiping her face. We see, like, the mascara that she had, like, tried to, like, not smear by crying, just, like, smeared all over her face from where she wiped her face.
Lucy's gonna stand up and go over to Veronica. But here's the thing. I didn't. I'm okay. I have powers that will help keep me safe in situations where the normal person probably won't be. And I have a team. I have a team that has my back.
Yeah, I'd
Don't-
never
I'm
let
not-
my
I'm
best
not-
friend get hurt.
She's gonna turn to Al. Can I have a moment, please? She's gonna turn back to Veronica and be like, I have a team. They're gonna keep me safe. I am not by myself out there. Trust me, I am the farthest thing from by myself out there.
She looks at you and she's like, there are others besides the superpowered infant?
Oh, honey, you got a big storm coming.
She looks and she's like, are any of them, you know, like responsible adults?
You're looking at her.
She laughs, kind of in spite of herself. She turns to Al and she's like, I need you to promise me something.
Anything for you, my sunflower.
She gets really close to your face and, like, not like romantically close, like really threateningly close. And she's like, you protect my roommate or I will cut your balls off.
I was gonna like kiss her on the cheek and just whisper in her ear and be like, of course. She's my best friend.
She pulls back and she, like, glares at you and she's like, no, Lucy is my best friend. And then she grabs Lucy's hand. And then she looks at your whole costume and then she's like, okay, but if you're going to be doing superhero stuff, you can't be just doing it in, like, department store yoga pants.
I agree. This is what I happen to have right now.
I agree too. You're kind of uncooling the rest of CC.
Veronica turns and she says, Cece?
The team.
Cataclysm crew, and he's just gonna like give 2 big thumbs up.
Now you see why I am the responsible one.
She looks between the two of you and she's like, you know that name isn't very comforting, right?
I'm well aware.
Okay, good. Just so we're all on the same page here. And then she looks at you and she's like, I think we can work with something. Let me get some measurements. And she, like, goes to her room and pulls out a tape measure. You remember, as she goes into her room and gets a tape measure, that Veronica's minor is fashion design.
Hell yeah.
And she starts measuring. And I think we can end the scene there. Is there
Hey,
any-
guess what my other drive was?
Was it to get a new costume?
Sure was.
Perfect. Is there anything else that we want to get done in this issue?
I think at the very least we should see her sending off a text to keep Calvin updated because after she royally like fucked up her relationships these past couple of months or however long it's been, she's trying to make like an effort to make sure she keeps her loved ones in the loop so that way she doesn't like do whatever she did again.
Perfect. I think we see all of that. You sending off the message, and I think we see like a couple montage-y panels of like the 3 of you and then Calvin coming in, the 4 of you like hanging out in this apartment together. And then
DC's brand new sitcom.
we cut over to Saber, and we see inside the like the holding cells that we saw Allie in a previous CC issue, like way back when. Those kinds of cells. And we see Jane sitting in the cell. And then she pulls out her phone and shoots off a quick text, and she's like, all right, I'm in. They won't even know what hit them. And then she closes her phone.
Moon Harbor Heroes is produced by Anthony Sheets and TP Huth, and edited by Anthony Sheets. Anthony can be found on Twitter at Icy New Year, or at icynewyear.com. T is the host of Incubator on Air, a new play podcast available on iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify, and Google Play. She can be found at T Huth Playwright on Twitter or TP Huth 94 on Instagram. Cataclysm Crew is GM'd by TP Huth. Flyby is played by Jane Barry. You can find her at Jane-Tarzan on Twitter. Rascal King is played by me, Anthony Sheets. Machina is played by Elliot Peterson. She can be found at Elliot Yulin on Instagram. Blue Samurai is played by William Hendry. You can find him on Twitter at RockoutWill321 or on Steam as Cypress_Grunham. Our logo was designed by Beautiful Beasties. She can be found on Instagram at beastly.doodles or at patreon.com/beautifulbeasties. The music in this issue is Mistake the Getaway by Kevin MacLeod. A link to his website and the license will be in the show notes. If you want to get a hold of us, email us at moonharborheroes@gmail.com or find us on Twitter at moonharborcast. If you enjoyed this issue, please leave us a review on iTunes and tell a friend. Word of mouth and 5-star reviews are really the best way for us to keep bringing these stories to more people. If you'd like to support us financially, check us out on patreon.com/moonharborheroes. Supporting us there will give you access to bonus episodes each month. And thanks for helping us save the world. We'll see you next issue.